Minnesota man who allegedly attacked Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar at a town hall earlier this week has been charged in federal court. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
The FBI says the 55-year-old suspect squirted the Congresswoman with a solution of apple cider vinegar mixed with water. An affidavit says agents interviewed an associate of the suspect who said that years ago, the man said of Ilhan Omar, "Someone should kill that expletive." He's now charged in federal court with assaulting a member of Congress.
Some popular food products sold in 3 states are being recalled due to possible exposure to rodent and bird waste.
It's a long list of food products being recalled in 3 states where they were sold in Indiana, Minnesota, and North Dakota. A distribution company may have kept them in unsanitary conditions where they could have come in contact with rodent and bird droppings and urine. That company initiated a recall in December. Now the FDA is classifying it as one that could cause adverse health consequences. The impacted products include things like Nutella, Cheerios, Gatorade, Coca-Cola, Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, and Jolly Ranchers, sold in those 3 states. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Elon Musk today announced Tesla will stop making its S and X models of electric cars. Musk now saying the company will convert a massive factory into a robot manufacturing plant in a shift to production of Optimus robots. Musk says he set a goal of selling 1 million humanoid robots over the next 10 years. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
It's now 5:05 on this Thursday afternoon, and with your KVNU local headlines during For the People, I'm Will Feelright. Well, Utah State men's basketball dominating Wyoming 94-62 last night in the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum, marking the largest margin of victory in the 92-game history between the two programs. Senior guard Colby King led the Aggies with a season-high 20 points and 7 rebounds off the bench. He was one of 5 Utah State players to reach double figures, while the Aggie reserves were instrumental, accounting for 54 of the team's 94 total points. Now, head coach Jared Calhoun after the game had no complaints and was proud of the way his team performed.
Thought we did an incredible job of creating advantages, playing for each other, and not only playing for the fans and the herd, but playing for Xander. Xander is a young boy that, at birth, was diagnosed with cancer. And his story really touched home to us, people that have kids, watching that little boy interact with our guys last week, his dad and mom sharing that story with us. The perseverance and the toughness that he has is something we can all learn from.
Now, the Aggies will remain home as they host San Diego State coming up Saturday. That game tips off at 11 o'clock. In other news, a 50-year-old Logan man sentenced to prison yesterday after admitting to possessing more than 7,500 images of child sexual abuse material. Brady Lynn Thurston appeared in Logan's First District Court, where Judge Angela Fonsbeck called his actions disgusting, sick, and legally wrong. Now, Thurston previously had pleaded guilty to 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a second-degree felony. Now, the investigation began in September of 2024 following a cyber tip from Verizon regarding files that had been uploaded to a cloud storage account. Now, Cache County Deputy Attorney Dane Murray stated that investigators discovered over 7,500 images, including 65 depicting children under the age of 2. Now, Murray described the content as some of the worst material out there. And finally, the Utah House of Representatives unanimously approved a $30 million appropriation to purchase the bankruptcy assets of U.S. Magnesium. Now, that'll secure significant water rights for the struggling Great Salt Lake. Now, the funding included in the natural resources-based budget allows the state to acquire the idle mineral extraction plant. Now, Representative Val Peterson of Orem described the move as a strategic purchase that will retain approximately 144,000 acre-feet of water in the lake annually, which is roughly the volume of Deer Creek Reservoir. Now, Chandler Rosenberg of Stewardship Utah called the acquisition seriously amazing and a major victory for air quality. Now, the Utah Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands recently won the bid for the assets in federal bankruptcy court. Well, we've had clouds today, and that's kept temperatures colder. And tomorrow, well, it looks like it's going to start warming back up. As overnight tonight, we'll see temperatures drop into the low 20s. Some fog possibly to deal with tomorrow morning. We'll kind of watch for that. And then we'll see temperatures get into the low 40s to finish off the week. 50s possibly for Saturday and into Sunday, as it's going to start warming up with mostly clear skies through the next 7 days. And weather this hour brought to you by our friends over at Allen Law Office. Jace Allen is Northern Utah's planning attorney. When it comes to wills and trusts, that's all they do at Allen Law Office. Give them a call today to help protect what's yours and your legacy. 435-227-5468 or online at cashlegal.com. Will Fiore for KVNU News.
A new year doesn't ask us to become someone else. It invites us to come home to ourselves. At Bell Sculpt, we know real change isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring confidence after life has done its work. If 2025 stretched you, shaped you, or asked more of you than you expected, let 2026 be the year you choose you. To celebrate the new year, enjoy 26% off of all Bell Sculpt procedures. Our way of honoring your courage to begin again. To find a clinic near you, go to bellsculpt.fm. Bell Sculpt. Love the skin you're in.
The newsmakers, the stories. Get it all here. News Talk KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
This is Riley from the Bear River Health Department, and as we step into January, let's talk about a great goal to set for 2026, connecting with our kids. January is Parents Empowered Month, a powerful reminder that you play the most important role in keeping your kids alcohol-free. The research is clear. When parents set rules, stay connected, and spend meaningful time with their kids, it dramatically reduces the likelihood of underage drinking. This month, take a moment to slow down and strengthen those everyday connections. Eat dinner together, check in after school, or plan a simple activity you can enjoy as a family. These small moments build trust, and trust builds protection. Parents Empowered offers free tools, tips, and family-friendly ideas to help you start conversations about alcohol and guide your kids through challenging situations. Visit brhdut.gov to learn more. Let's make January a month of prevention, connection, and stronger families. Parents Empowered, together we can keep Utah's kids alcohol-free.
Discount Tire. So much more than a tire store.
It's your last warning before winter travel gets crazy. Get to Discount Tire and Automotive now. Keep your family safe with services that matter. Oil changes, alignments, shocks, struts, and brakes. Your vehicle must be ready for busy roads. Right now, get 10% off all service, but you need to hurry. They offer no credit check financing and 12 months, no interest. Protect your family and get to Discount Tire and Automotive now.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People, hour 2 of today's show. Actually getting warmer out there. 31 degrees, 2 degrees warmer than 4 o'clock here at 5:11 in the afternoon. And tomorrow up into the high 30s, even 40s. And by the weekend, we have one day this weekend that, at least in the forecast, could hit 50. So it's, winter today and last night, spring tomorrow. Late spring, Saturday or Sunday. It's pretty unpredictable out there. Enjoy, though, right? It is spring in Utah, winter spring in Utah. So yesterday on the show, we spoke with Natalie Levi, Cass GOP chair, and 2 representatives of the USU Republicans organization about the upcoming Lincoln Day dinner. You can buy tickets to this at cashgop.com. Special guest speakers, author Kim Wells and former Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Also a chance for you to talk with local elected officials from our local lawmakers to some city and council representatives will be on hand as well. So plenty of reason for you to be there Saturday, February 7th at the Taggart Student Center Ballroom. But even more of a reason here, Natalie let me know this morning that They were going to offer a 20% discount code for our listeners. So you heard it here and only here, but if you go to cashgop.com to purchase, whether you're buying a whole table, which they still have some gold sponsor tables open for $1,000. That saves you about $20 a ticket if you're taking 8 people and pooling your resources. If you're just buying an individual ticket, this also applies, but 20% off your ticket purchase to the Lincoln Day dinner if you use the code PRECINCT. That is PRECINCT, all caps. So if you use the code PRECINCT, Natalie says they'll give you 20% off your Lincoln Day dinner tickets. And that is, of course, February 7th at the Taggart Student Center Ballroom, where they traditionally hold that. Doors open at 6:30. Program itself actually begins around 7, and they're planning on this wrapping up between 8:30 and 9. But again, it's a great place to sit and chit-chat with lawmakers, state lawmakers, some county officials, and, of course, the guest speakers that will stick around as well. So if it moves into the hallway and everyone's still talking, well, they let that happen. So thanks to Natalie for that, a little gift for our listeners there. Again, as you purchase your tickets at cashgop.com for the Lincoln Day dinner, enter the code PRECINCT, all caps, PRECINCT, and you'll get 20% off your ticket purchase, whether that's individual or buying a whole table or whatever you have planned. So cashgop.com, again, is the website for that. Pretty big day on Capitol Hill. It's still early in the session, so not a lot is moving, but there is movement. And what I mean by that is the pace seems slow this year as far as bills passing. They usually, in previous years, they've spent the first 2 weeks passing all the big, controversial, unpopular stuff because this is a cynical thing to say. It is, unfortunately, the reality. They're hoping that you forget that by the time they get to the end of the 45-day session, you have forgotten to be mad about this or that thing that they did. Again, it's an unfortunate and cynical thing to say, but it is the truth. And that means that you should be paying attention at the early part of the session. This year, though, they didn't really do that. They didn't rush any big controversial things through here. Now, it's Thursday. There's one more day left in the second week, right? So I could end up being really wrong about this. But so far, they haven't done it. This is an interesting development, though, because you don't see this often. In our neighboring state, Idaho, the Idaho legislature today, a lawmaker introduced a bill, what is basically a resolution, they call them memorials, criticizing the Utah State Legislature over a bill that hasn't passed yet, but that would rework the fuel tax that Utahns pay. House Joint Memorial 12, it's called. Again, that's here in Utah, we call them House Joint Resolutions. In Idaho legislative process, they call them memorials. I don't know why. So it's House Joint Memorial 12. It was filed this morning by Idaho House Speaker Mike Moyle, and it outright criticizes the Utah legislature for considering, now again, this bill hasn't passed, but it's a bill that would cut the gas tax that Utah consumers pay by about 50% and impose a tax on refineries of the same amount. And what the Idaho legislature, Speaker of the House Mike Moyle, is basically saying here is, well, he told Fox 13's sister station in Idaho, Idaho News 6, we've always considered Utah a good partner, and to do this is bull manure, in my humble opinion. The resolution or memorial that the Idaho House Speaker has introduced this morning calls out Utah House Speaker Mike Schultz over his promotion of the bill and warns the impact of the legislation would, quote, significantly increase the total fuel tax burden on Idaho citizens and businesses, placing Idaho among the most heavily taxed fuel markets in the nation. And it warned that a potential $250 million price tag or impact is a potential for Idahoans. The memorial, the resolution, also said that the Utah bill would spark a, quote, plague of new tit-for-tat taxes and fees to be borne by non-residents. Moyle, in an interview again as he introduced this measure, said that Idaho is at a disadvantage because we can't stop Utah, right? I still think it's against the Constitution with the interstate commerce stuff, but we'll see what they decide, implying there that Idaho plans to sue Utah if this bill passes. But Moyle said, I'm pretty damn adamant about forcing the issue, which is, in the end, a huge increase in fuel costs for those of us living in southern Idaho. When word got around that this resolution had been filed by the Speaker of the Idaho State House, Republican political leaders on Utah's Capitol Hill kind of responded, meh. Representative Cal Roberts, Republican from Draper, told Fox 13 News this morning, "We represent Utahns, we don't represent Idaho, and I find it interesting they're responding to a bill that doesn't even exist yet," meaning it hasn't passed yet, and that they're calling it an export tax. They can call it whatever they want. It's not an export tax, it's a refinery tax, and it's making sure our residents get a fair deal at the pump. And so Representative Roberts dismissing the memorial, the resolution that the Idaho House Speaker has introduced. He told Fox 13, "We're focused on representing Utahns, first making sure the prices at the pump are good for Utahns. What I would say to Idaho is if you're a pro-energy state, invest in an energy industry like we have here in Utah for many decades." I don't think I've ever seen anything like this happen before. The pending bill here in Utah has been lobbied to death. In fact, the sponsor, Roberts, is quoted in the Fox 13 story there. He's cracked jokes before. He said one time, he told, I think it was the Salt Lake Tribune earlier in the session last week, he said that every lobbyist in the state has called him about this one, even if they're not employed by oil and gas, I think is what he said. He said, we do have concerns, but we're working through them. For his part, one of the groups opposed to this bill said one of their concerns is that the bill proposed by the Utah legislature includes one of their concerns includes how it would impact regional fuel markets. So there is kind of an admission that Idaho House Speaker Moyle has a valid concern that if Utah does this, and again, the bill doesn't exist yet. Well, I mean, it exists, but it hasn't passed yet. It hasn't even gone to a committee hearing yet. But the bill would basically cut the direct gas tax we all pay at the pump here in Utah by 50%. Now, that doesn't mean your gas prices go down 50%. That means the 20, I think it's 28 cents now. Don't quote me on that. It's somewhere around there. That gets cut in half. So, 10, 15 cents less a gallon. And that's not insignificant, right? Adds up over time. So the bill would do that, and then to make up the money that the state would lose, quote unquote, by cutting that gas tax, they would basically impose an offsetting tax on the refineries themselves, get the money from the refineries instead of Utah drivers, because Utah needs that money for roads, and they're not going to give it up entirely. So that's what the bill would do. Idaho House Speaker Mike Moyle told Idaho 6 News, though, that he hoped Utah's legislature would back off. He said there are some things we can do to put pressure on Utah if we have to, and one of those things I would like to see us do is we've got a lot of water that goes to the Great Salt Lake in southeastern Idaho. Maybe Idaho will decide to keep it in Idaho. I don't know how they would go about doing that, but this is wild, people. Utah Representative Cal Roberts, the sponsor of this legislation, again, that hasn't passed yet, is still defending his legislation, and he said that it's due to it being made public soon that the Idaho Speaker is reacting to it, but he said, I want you to keep in mind, even he hasn't seen the bill he's so upset about. He said if Idaho were to retaliate, let's say they put a tax on potatoes, that made me laugh out loud when he said that. Roberts here in Utah, he said Utahns would pay a tax on potatoes leaving the state of Idaho. I'd be curious to see what they think their Idaho farmers would feel about that. That's basically like a tariff that consumers pay, but state to state. It would hurt the industry, and I don't think we need to be going there. So we'll see what comes of this. But again, I as far as I can recall, this is a first. But you have Speaker of the House from Idaho saying that what Utah is doing will lead to basically a de facto tax on Idaho residents, trying to save Utah residents a buck or two at the pump by shifting the burden from drivers to taxing the refineries themselves, which, of course, that gets passed on to consumers, and that wouldn't stay in Utah, is the argument that the Idaho Speaker of the House is making. We'll see what happens with this. But again, the sponsor of the bill here in Utah, pretty dismissive of the complaints of the Idaho Speaker of the House. A memorial, just like a resolution here in Utah, means bupkis. I mean, it's literally just stating an opinion and saying you're angry about something. And it is, not binding in any way. But that the part that interested me there, that threat, basically the Idaho Speaker of the House saying, we've been working with Utah to get more water downstream to the Great Salt Lake. Maybe we stop working with them on that and let them figure out how to save the Great Salt Lake on their own if they don't care how their legislative choices impact Idaho residents when it comes to changes to the Utah gas tax. Interesting stuff. And also a reminder that, this all is related when you're talking about things that no state individually controls entirely, like fuel, gas, oil, things like that. But whether it means the bill gets shelved or not, the legislature, doesn't like to be told what to do, even if it's by courts telling them they have to listen to the Constitution. So I would be very surprised if they backed off on this one in any way, but we'll see. Again, a first. I don't think I've ever seen two legislative leadership groups battling it out, and I would never expect it to be Utah and Idaho at each other's throats. But here we are. We'll be back with more of KVNU's For the People right after this.
Do you need cash? Turn yesterday's scrap into today's cash instantly at Valley Recycling. We make it easy to turn your old metal into money. Got aluminum, copper, steel? Bring it in, and we'll pay you cash on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Old appliances, scrap from a job, or that pile of cans? We'll take it all. It's simple. You bring the metal, and you take home the cash. We're Valley Recycling at 145 North 10th West in Logan.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. Immigration may be a front and center issue now for the nation, but the truth is it's been a long time in the making. We'll explain how. Also, you'll recall the hiring boom that took place during the pandemic. Now companies are paring back workforces. Here are the different reasons why. And 3 reasons why it could be easier to buy a home this year. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
She sits alone by a lamppost. trying to find a thought that's escaped her mind.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Also on Capitol Hill, Utah lawmakers today advanced some pretty sweeping changes to Utah's court system. This is getting a lot of public skepticism because it's pretty obvious what's going on here. This is sour grapes on the part of the Utah legislature. And unfortunately, for all of the deservedly good things that I have to say about him, I'm disappointed to see our own Senator Chris Wilson at the forefront of this. I'm not opposed to some of it. The court expansion, expanding the Supreme Court from 5 to 7, I think it's kind of time that we start at least talking about those things. Utah's growing. The workload of the district courts and others are growing. I think we also need to have a conversation about the size of the legislature sometime soon. I don't know that we're there yet, but we've got to be close to a point where the number of House representatives and state senators isn't enough to effectively represent the number of people. So I'm not opposed to these conversations. The timing, though, is inescapable. And this is the legislature is throwing a tantrum because they were told no by the courts, deservedly, twice, 2 summers in a row. And that's unfortunate. But they're moving ahead. On Monday, Senator Wilson's bill passed on the state Senate floor and was sent to the House. And on Wednesday of this week, it was discussed in a committee. Hasn't been assigned to an exact date for a House floor debate. The bill simply adds more judges to the state Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals. And then amendments to the bill would add 1 district court judge each in Salt Lake, St. George, and Provo. Again, dealing with growth, I don't think people should be as freaked out about this one as they are. The timing, though, again, I get. It is so obvious what is happening here. It is impossible to ignore that. The problem is this bill is coupled with some others. They're doing this as an omnibus package, if you will, and some of those others. That's where things get a little more nefarious, I think, where they're talking about actually creating a new court, kind of like a drug court, but this would be for, this is Representative Matt McPherson, who, by the way, McPherson's the one who had big feels the night of the redistricting ruling and tweeted out, "I've opened a bill file just minutes ago to impeach this judge." Well, someone in leadership sat him down and said, "Matty, take a breath, man. You're not impeaching the judge." Because he never really actually opened the bill file, and he's kind of shut up about it. And people have asked him several times, "Are you still planning to do this?" And he's just ignored the questions. We send these people there to do the work of the state, and I think it's a minimum expectation they be adults about it, right? I guess it's too much to ask sometimes. McPherson's House Bill 392 would establish, similar to a drug court, this is a new court that focuses on one thing, and it would establish a constitutional court. Like an appellate court, the new court would have 3 judges, according to the legislation, and it would focus solely on constitutional questions concerning state law. So these cases would be directed to the new court rather than beginning in a district court. Great, fine, you're streamlining the process, right? But here's where things get kind of hinky. It would also allow the legislature and the Attorney General's office to transfer civil cases it deemed of, quote, significant importance, that's vague, from any district court to this new constitutional court. And the decisions, they'd of course be still subject to appeal, but this is a way to basically, it's called venue shopping. The legislature hasn't liked the answers it's gotten in lawsuits from district courts, and so they want to bypass that process and create a brand new court, which of course they get to decide who gets appointed to, in the hopes that they'll get rulings that they want. Here's a better way to go about this, folks. McPherson and everyone on the Hill, just follow the state constitution. You lost these court battles because you got out over your skis. You reached too far. You were challenged in court, and the courts agreed that you had ignored provisions of the Constitution, the state constitution. End of story. But with the legislature, it's never the end of the story. So, again, not much harm that I can see in Senator Wilson's bill, which just expands the Supreme Court by 2 and expands some of the district courts. And I'm not an expert here, but, you know, the growth we've seen in the state, it makes sense. We might need to start looking at some of these things. And, again, I think we're, if not there, we're coming up close on needing to have the same conversation about the size of the legislature itself. Due to population growth, you do have to have enough representatives to reasonably expect people to be able to talk to them. And so that's going to require some more House reps and maybe a senator or two, some additional districts. Probably in the next redistricting cycle, we'll see that happen. These things happen. But Wilson's work being paired with McPherson's temper tantrum and Rep. Ryan D. Wilcox of Ogden also has I think one that he's at least hinted at that's coming. You also have the opening day speech from the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, basically begging lawmakers not to do this and to maintain an independence in the judiciary, saying, "Look, we do our jobs and we try to support you when you do yours. We expect the same." Lawmakers apparently not wanting to hear that message. For what it's worth, the Utah State Bar has come out fully opposed to all of these measures, basically saying the same thing I said, that this is obviously sour grapes. The legislature is angry they've been told no by the courts, but that's exactly what the courts are supposed to do when a legislative branch overreaches. And the Utah State Bar is saying they oppose all of these pieces of legislation. We'll see what happens. Well, I mean, they're going to pass them. You know, nobody puts Dottie in a corner. And Dottie, in this case, of course, is the legislature and their feelings. We'll be back with more of KVN News for the people after this look at the news with KVN News. Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. The Opal Autism Center celebrated its grand opening of its new 12,000 square foot facility in Logan on Monday, marking the provider's first location in the Beehive State. Now, located at 650 North, 870 West, the family-owned center aims to reduce wait times for diagnosis and treatment. Now, Clinical Director Kylie Lewis explained that the center uses evidence-based applied behavior analysis therapy with a focus on assent-based compassionate care. Now, the facility is designed to accommodate up to 30 children, maintaining a one-on-one ratio between behavioral technicians and clients. Now, Lewis explained how the kids lead the therapy and adults don't dictate what they should be doing. Now, CEO Dan Nicholson noted that this is the 14th Opal Center nationwide. The expansion comes as demand for services grows. According to the CDC, approximately 1 in 32 children is diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Now, the condition occurs across all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups, though diagnosis is more than 3 times common among boys than girls. And a woman accused of killing her boyfriend after he was allegedly caught inappropriately touching a child has now been charged with manslaughter. Fabiola Tempolis, a 39-year-old, was charged yesterday with 1 count of second-degree felony manslaughter in the death of 45-year-old Jose Humberto Alvarado. Now, police say that the incident began early Christmas morning at their West Valley City home. Now, officers say they responded to a disturbance about 1:30 after Alvarado was reportedly caught taking leggings off of Tempolis' 11-year-old female relative. Now, a confrontation ensued between Tempolis and Alvarado, before which investigators believe she stabbed him. Now, Alvarado fled the scene before police arrived to investigate the incident involving the child. His body was discovered at about 8 a.m. on a nearby sidewalk by a resident who was walking their dog. Now, an autopsy revealed that Alvarado had died from a single stab wound. Tempolis, meanwhile, was booked into the Salt Lake County Metro Jail. And record-breaking prices for precious metals is driving some people to local coin dealers, and lines have been stretching out of some stores for weeks. Now, silver is currently trading at over $100 an ounce, while gold has surpassed $5,200 an ounce. Now, longtime collectors are seizing the opportunity to try to cash in on investments that were made decades ago. One customer noted that he purchased coins back in the 1990s for roughly $3.80 each, and now they're valued at over $100. Now, Sarah Thompson, who is the chief of staff of Monarch Coin, attributed the surge to increased trade tensions and also major financial firms advising clients to add precious metals to their portfolios. Well, we've had some colder temperatures today, mainly because of the clouds and some of that fog that we had this morning. Overall, a half inch of snow that fell here at the Radio Ranch. Some areas up on the bench and in the mountains saw more than that. Beaver Mountain reporting 2 inches of new snow. Now, as this storm has moved out of the area, we're going to see mostly clear skies heading into tomorrow and through the weekend as temperatures will gradually start warming up. Tonight will drop into the low 20s. Could see some fog possible again tomorrow morning for your commute. And then 40s expected for Friday, mid-40s for Saturday. Could be in the low 50s on Sunday. And weather brought to you by Firehouse Subs. Every week they team up with KVNU to recognize a hero in our community like Kelsey Alder of Petersboro. She was our last winner of that gift card from Firehouse Subs. Kelsey is a nurse in the NICU at the hospital. And as a nurse, someone said she's always positive and brings a lot of joy to everyone around her. So we gave her a $40 gift card to Firehouse Subs for free lunch or dinner. And if you have someone you'd like to nominate, just go to our website, click on the Above and Beyond Salute link at kvnutalk.com. Tell us a little bit about them, and we could be calling them tomorrow morning at 8:30. And I'm Will Theorite with your KVNU local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minneapolis, hundreds turning out to protest immigration operations in the city despite bitterly sub-zero temperatures. It comes after a 5-year-old was detained with his father and sent to a facility in Texas. ABC's Matt Rivers says the largest protest was at the Minneapolis airport.
This was peaceful. You had a couple dozen people block one of the lanes that led to the departures area, the drop-off area for passengers. And the message was clear. They want ICE out of their city. They want local police and local officials to do more to try and get that happen. And by doing this in a public place, they think they're spreading awareness about their message.
Millions of Americans on alert with winter storm warnings stretching from Texas to New England. Heavy snow and ice, followed by an Arctic blast, could leave states covered in ice and dealing with power outages into next week. President Trump today and along earlier, Vice President J.D. Vance were keynote speakers at the annual March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. This is ABC News.
I swear, every dad thinks the thermostat is a personal challenge. You turn it up, 5 minutes later, he turns it down. If you're warm, he's losing. You know what I'm talking about, right? But here's the thing. Dad might not be wrong. You might just need better insulation. Call Cardall's Insulation. Honestly, most homes are not adequately insulated. Cardall's uses high-performance insulation that stops cold drafts and keeps your home warm so you don't have to blast the furnace. Call Cardall's Insulation at 755-5012 and call a truce with Dad, 755-5012.
Is your health and wellness journey just beginning? The Sports Academy is more than just a gym. It's a community that offers something for all ages and fitness levels. Are you ready to feel empowered, energized, and unstoppable? See for yourself why the Sports Academy is more than a gym. Check out our community today with the largest weight rooms, certified coaches, trainers, and instructors that will keep you motivated. Welcome to the Sports Academy community. Your club, your results, your life.
Are allergies affecting your day-to-day life? Intermountain Budge Clinic's allergy and immunology team can help. Dr. Scott Dixon and new provider Tyson Brown, the only board-certified allergists in the Valley, treat everything from seasonal and perennial allergies, asthma, food or drug reactions, hives, and more with personalized care. Don't wait for the next flare-up. Call 435-716-1820 or visit budgeclinicallergy.com to schedule your appointment. Intermountain Budge Clinic Allergy and Immunology. Breathe easier, live better.
Friday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will take you into the weekend with the absolute latest on Minneapolis after Tom Homan's big address. What sort of impact do we have there as the fallout of additional videos of the supposed heroic nurse cast aspersions potentially up on that narrative in a big way? Plus, what is going to happen with what's going on in Iran? We'll break all that down for you and more. It'll be the Friday edition, Clay and Buck.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Cache County Clerk Bryson Bem wanting to remind everyone that they're having a contest with the election in mind. We talked about this a little bit yesterday with the governor's office highlighting an event in February at the Brigham City Museum that coincides with the America 250 nationwide celebration because there are some bits and pieces of history for the country in which Utah plays a prominent role. So the governor's office is trying to do their best to highlight events throughout the year that you can get to right here in Utah that are local, but also part of this nationwide America 250 birthday celebration. And the Cache County Clerk's Office is getting in on the fun. They are actually asking residents to help design an I Voted sticker. This is Celebrate America 250 a celebration. They're asking residents to help celebrate that with a sticker design that both, preferably somehow recognizes the America 250 birthday celebration nationwide, but also has a unique Cache County flair. And the deadline for this, so the submission period is January 7th, start January 7th, but it runs until February 14th. There is a printable contest packet, including the contest flyer, which I posted on our Facebook page, and some official rules, an in-person submission form that you'd fill out there. You can fill it out online as well. Now, you do not have to be legal voting age. You can design an I Voted sticker either as a future voter under the age of 18 or a current voter, 18 and older. This is an opportunity for you to actually design the sticker that will be given out on Election Day in November. I think this is pretty cool. They'll announce the winners in March 9th. The Cache County Clerk's Office on Facebook and Instagram will announce the winning design and the name of the designing artist. But they're asking all residents who might be interested to take part in this. I think it's a really cool idea. By the way, if your art is chosen, Bryson Bem, Cache County Clerk, says, if your art is chosen, your art will be seen by more than 70,000 voters in November, all across Cache County. So the contest, again, helped design Cache County's official 2026 I Voted sticker. And this is to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States. They're inviting artists of all ages to be a part in this. Help design the official 2026 Cache County America 250 I Voted sticker. Themes that they suggest, of course, voting, civic pride, Cache County, all of that. And again, you do not have to be 18 years or older to enter this. You don't have to be a legal voter. You can be a future voter and still design this sticker. So simple rules. Designs, again, should somehow reference the America 250 celebration and also in one way or another represent Cache Valley, promote civic pride, things like that. There are several different categories. One winner per category will have their sticker handed out and mailed to the Cache County voters for the 2026 general election. So how to enter. You can scan a QR code at cachecounty.gov that will take you right to the form, but you can also just click on, go to cachecounty.gov/elections, and in the category there that says forms, you can actually fill out the form and register as a contestant in this and submit your artwork. Again, the deadline is February 14th, close of day, so 5 p.m. February 14th is the deadline. It is open for submissions now. That started on January 7th. And again, the winner in each category, I think there are 4 different categories, so 4 different winners will see their stickers. More than 70,000 people will see their art in the Cache County I Voted stickers. So, again, that is cachecounty.gov/elections. And just click on forms a little bit down the list there. It'll take you right to the I Voted sticker design contest entry form, which is a really, really cool idea. So anyone can be a part of this. Again, any age is welcome. and they're asking that Cache Valley residents get these in as soon as possible. And then judging will take place after the contest closes, February 14th, and winners will be announced March 9th via the Cache County Clerk's Office Instagram and Facebook pages. And then, of course, the stickers will actually be printed, and you'll get to see your artwork if you win in one of the three categories on or passed out to more than 70,000 voters on Election Day in November 2026. So pretty cool stuff. By the way, while we're speaking of forms at the Cache County Clerk's Office, while you're there checking out the I Voted sticker design contest form, which again, it's cachecounty.gov/elections, and then click on forms. You can also, while you're there, see all of the different forms available for changing your registration and more, of course, which you can do online now at vote.utah.gov. But you'll also see just below the form to enter the I Voted sticker design contest, right below that you'll see a poll worker interest form. This is important. Many volunteers are needed to help official election staff run the elections. We're going to have some primaries coming up. We've got special elections that are taking place now within the Cache GOP, or will be taking place shortly within the Cache GOP. But we'll have official primaries. We'll have the general election date and more. And all poll worker positions are paid and seasonal election staff. But if you fill out this poll worker interest form, you're basically showing your interest in being a poll worker. And the requirements are pretty simple. Poll workers must be registered to vote in Cache County and meet all state and county election requirements. Those are pretty simple as well. And then you will be in the consideration as they begin their hiring process. That hiring window, by the way, is going to open up just before the primary election dates, and they can always use more help. So if you're looking to get some, it's a way to get some inside information, or inside experience with running elections in Utah. You get to see the process from the inside. And these are paid considered seasonal jobs, but they are paid positions, all poll workers, and they're looking for some help before those primaries get underway in June. So if you are interested in something that is a really unique experience, one of a kind to say the least, while you're there, after you fill out the form for the Design and I Voted sticker contest, right below that, click on the poll worker interest form. And again, this does not commit you in any way. You would always get to decide based on what they offer you, hours and times and time of year and things like that. But filling out the poll worker interest form just lets them know that you are interested, and they'll reach out to you with opportunities as they pop up. So check them both out. Again, that is cachecounty.gov/elections. Scroll down a bit. You'll see a link there that says forms. And you can find both the I Voted sticker design contest entry form and the poll worker interest form right there next to each other. Again, at cachecounty.gov/elections. So thanks to Bryce and Ben for passing that information on. Again, the I Voted sticker design contest ends February 14th, so get your submissions in as quick as possible. And we'll be back with more of KVNU's For the People right after this.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Betty, why are you packing your house up?
I'm ready to move. My home is so boring. There's no color on the walls, no pop.
I have the answer. Go see Cast-A-Lite in Logan. They have several products to make your walls stand out. I just finished a wall with their Speedy Mason system. It was so easy and looks amazing.
Does this sound familiar to you? Refresh your home with affordable options at Cast-A-Lite for brick, block, rock, paver, and tile. Go where the pros go. Online at Cast-A-Lite.com.
Here in Utah, we're built different. We're built for winter. Whether you're getting the kids to school on a snowy morning or tackling a slick commute home, at a Murdoch GMC Chevrolet Cadillac, we're built to get you through it. This month, take up to $10,000 off a new 2026 Sierra 1500. You've got to come and see us at Murdoch Chevrolet GMC Cadillac in Logan or online at MurdochChevroletLogan.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Call 888-391-6083 or see dealer for complete details. Offer expires 1/31/26.
Express your love for her this Valentine's Day by presenting a piece of diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Diamond jewelry makes a woman feel cherished. A pair of beautiful diamond earrings will add to the sparkle in her eyes. Adorned in diamond earrings, she will feel elegant and appreciated. Choose from a large selection of quality diamond earrings, all specially priced for Valentine's Day. Remember, diamonds from S.E. Needham's will be noticed from across the room, and everyone will know she's yours. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
If you're constantly dusting or battling allergies, Jonathan Duct Hunter says your air ducts might be to blame. Construction dust and debris can linger in your HVAC system long after the tools are put away. Breathe easier with a professional air ducts cleaning from the Duct Hunter. You'll enjoy less surface dust, cleaner, healthier air, relief from allergy symptoms. Plus, they'll clean your dryer bed while they're there for added safety and efficiency. Call 435-770-4813 for your free quote today. Fresh air is just a phone call away.
Hi, this is Neil Chambers from Firehouse Pizzeria. We are truly honored to be named a Best of Northern Utah Gold winner for Best All-Around Restaurant and Pizza. This community means everything to us, and we are grateful for every customer who made this possible. Thank you for your trust.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. Immigration may be a front and center issue now for the nation, but the truth is it's been a long time in the making. We'll explain how. Also, you'll recall the hiring boom that took place during the pandemic. Now companies are paring back workforces. Here are the different reasons why. And 3 reasons why it could be easier to buy a home this year. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
For the people. We will be revisiting some of our movies and movie reviews tomorrow on the For the People movie show, and ramping up for Oscars season, obviously. So that is something you don't want to miss. We'll actually get to a week from tomorrow. Andy will officially be allowed to talk about the results of the Utah Film Critics Association's voting ahead of the Oscars for their best of. So that's it. He has that now, but it's embargoed. By next Friday, he'll be able to talk about it. But this Friday, we'll just have to hint about it and walk around it. But wrapping up today's show with your, I'm just going to call this amazing science story, but your feel-good story to send you into your evening here. This is actually one of those headlines that I first saw this on it was a post on social media. It was a tweet, I think, and I thought, that's someone's trying to pull everyone's leg here, because unfortunately there's a lot of that on social media these days. But this is actually a real story, and it is just unbelievable that this happens, and also probably happens on a more regular basis than we realize. But you have to see the photos in the Associated Press story to do its justice. But scientists are absolutely wowed by a Galapagos seabird that, because of some tracking devices, they were able to confirm wandered about 3,000 miles away from where it was intending to go. They believe this was because of maybe some storms or some strange weather patterns that just kind of threw it off a little bit. But scientists called it a vagrant bird because this particular type of bird, a yellow-billed bird with black button eyes and an 8-foot wingspan, it doesn't really live anywhere. Spends most of its time airborne over the ocean. And researchers, when it showed up on the coast of, and it's normally found in the waters, flying above the waters and sleeping on the water in the oceans off of Central America. When it showed up on the coast of California, they were obviously confused. It is about 3,000 miles away from where it probably should have been this time of year. And it was spotted about 23 miles just off the coast of Point Piedras Blancas, which is kind of midway between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And it was just kind of sitting there bobbing. But it was spotted by a marine ornithologist, Tammy Russell. And it was first spotted in October, and they just kept watching it and kept watching it. And here's where the story gets really cool. They decided that what had probably happened with this bird, again, it had been driven north by a storm, maybe flew right into a storm, and it didn't breed last season, so it wasn't drawn back to lay eggs. And so it was just following the food, basically. And it will hang out until it gets bored, and then it will head home, Tammy said. Well, this is the cool part. So the video, she's sitting on a boat talking about this bird that you can see bobbing in the water, talking about how it's 3,000 miles away from where it's supposed to be and that it should head south sometime soon. And as they're speaking, the bird in the video, I'm not kidding, bird turns and looks at her. I mean, she's a good 30, 40 yards away from the bird, and you're seeing it through a enlarged image. But the bird turns in the live stream as she's talking, looks at her for a second. As she says it probably wants to start heading south soon. The bird kind of sits up a bit in the water, flaps its wings a few times, and then launches itself into the air and heads south. Scientists tracked it, and it took about 4 days for the bird to make it about a fourth of the way into the trip, but they've been able to confirm that it must have heard the scientists speaking to the crowd in the video because it's headed home. It's headed back south. But it's the funniest thing. Right as she says, this bird's going to want to be heading south soon. I don't know what it's even doing here. In the enlarged video window next to her in the YouTube clip, bird turns and looks at her like it hurt her, and then literally seconds later flies south. It's hilarious. Check it out. I've linked to it on our Facebook page.